I let my son's friend stay with us after his parents kicked him out. That decision saved my life. I took in my son's friend after his parents kicked him out. He turned out to be on the run from dangerous people. One night, they broke into my house. He fought them off and saved my life. It all started on a cold November evening. My 17-year-old son, Jason, came home from school looking troubled. That wasn't unusual. Teenagers have their moods. But tonight, he was fidgeting, hesitating to speak. "Dad," he finally said, "can Eli stay with us for a while?" Eli was Jason's best friend since middle school. A quiet, polite kid, maybe a little rough around the edges, but nothing out of the ordinary. I frowned. "What's going on?" Jason took a deep breath. His parents kicked him out. He has nowhere to go. I was stunned. I knew Eli's parents weren't the warmest people, but kicking out their own son? It didn't sit right with me. Jason must have seen my hesitation. "Please, Dad. He's got no one else?" That was enough for me. I couldn't let a kid sleep on the streets. So, I agreed. When Eli showed up, he had nothing but a backpack. His face was bruised. He didn't talk much that night, just muttered a quiet thanks before heading to the guest room. Something felt off, but I pushed it aside. I thought I was just overthinking things. I had no idea that letting him in would change everything. At first, things were normal. Eli was a good guest, helpful, respectful, never caused trouble. But after a few days, I started noticing things. For one, he was extremely alert. He always checked the windows, listened closely to every little noise, and kept his bedroom door locked. It was like he was expecting something or someone. One night, I passed by his room and heard him whispering on the phone. "They found me," he said. "I don't know what to do." My stomach tightened. What had I brought into my house? 3 weeks later, I woke up to a strange sound in the middle of the night. It was almost 3 a.m. At first, I thought I was imagining it. But then I heard it again, a faint rustling like someone was trying to force open a window. Heart pounding, I grabbed the baseball bat I kept by my bed and tiptoed out of my room. That's when I saw Eli standing in the hallway, completely still. He turned to me, his face pale. "They're here," he whispered. Before I could ask what he meant, a loud crash came from the kitchen. The window. Someone had broken in. I barely had time to react before Eli grabbed my arm and yanked me back. "Get down." A second later, 2 men stormed in, both dressed in black, faces covered. One had a crowbar. The other had a knife. I thought I was going to die. But Eli? He didn't freeze. He didn't panic. Instead, he moved like he knew exactly what he was doing. In seconds, Eli grabbed a lamp and threw it straight at the guy with the crowbar, hitting him square in the face. The man stumbled back, cursing. Then Eli turned to the guy with the knife. Before the man could react, Eli kicked the weapon out of his hand and tackled him to the ground. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The intruders were bigger, stronger. But Eli fought like he'd done this before. I managed to dial 911 while Eli held one of them in a chokehold. The other guy, dazed from the lamp hit, stumbled out the door and ran. Minutes later, the police arrived. They arrested the one Eli had taken down and put out an APB for the second man. When the chaos settled, I finally turned to Eli. "What the hell was that?" Eli exhaled slowly. "I think I owe you an explanation." Eli wasn't just some troubled kid. His parents were involved in something shady, illegal business, drugs, laundering, maybe worse. When Eli found out, he threatened to go to the police. That's when his parents threw him out. But they didn't just kick him out. They sent people after him. They wanted to make sure he never talked. "They wouldn't kill me themselves," Eli said quietly. "Too messy. But they'd hire people who would. That's why he was always on edge. He knew they'd come for him eventually. And they did. But they didn't expect me to be home. And they definitely didn't expect Eli to fight back." After that night, Eli went into protective custody. He testified against his parents, and they were arrested along with several others. Jason was devastated to lose his best friend, but I knew Eli was safer this way. And me? I couldn't stop thinking about what would have happened if Eli wasn't there that night. If I had said no when Jason asked me to let him stay, if I had ignored the noises and gone back to sleep, if Eli hadn't known how to fight, I wouldn't be here telling this story. Letting that boy into my home saved his life. And in the end, it saved mine too.